Alan.
Yes.
May.
Yes.
From ICA.
Indeed.
And what is ICA?
ICA, Informatics Corporation of America, healthcare IT, electronic medical records.
And so what is your big data play?
In interoperability, we are working with the IHE, Integrating the Healthcare Enterprise is the acronym. It's an international organization dedicated to sharing medical information, medical records, and basically we're building what they call the core infrastructure for that. It's essentially allows people in a community or across communities to share medical records. So potentially, if the community is large enough, say a state or region, the size of the data involved is massive, and that's essentially our interest. Is how do we handle that? How do we provide that for people?
And secure it?
Absolutely.
Yes, I would imagine that's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, I would say security with healthcare information is something that we deal with so much that it's like an unspoken. Like when we're talking healthcare IT, we just assume, therefore, that it is secure because it's just not going to be.
Well, I don't know. I was on Boston.com yesterday, where I live,
okay.
And the headline was 1 in 3 residents of Massachusetts has had a data breach in the last year. So
right.
We have a long ways to go, but what do you guys do in that area?
There are coming down from the government, HIPAA regulations, and there's another acronym which I forget. But one of the things that we're focusing on is encrypted communications, always in TLS, SSL, well, TLS, right? And using, I'm drawing a blank. Security, from my perspective, is very much implementation oriented. I personally am not so much implementation oriented,
okay.
And I would.
And medical records, though, that's something that's going to be. It could get in the wrong hands.
Yes, absolutely. And we do. On one hand, as part of the IHE specifications, they have this audit trail for virtually every transaction, every instance of information being transmitted, information being accessed, information being stored is logged in a centralized server that's available to anyone who needs to audit trail. That is, I would say, one of the drawbacks of the security part of the IHE is that they leave it almost too much up to the individual implementers. I think what they have is good. The audit trail is a good idea. It is something that you should do. Essentially, if there is a breach, you can go back and find out what happened. The problem is they don't have a lot of proscriptive part of that. Like, how do you prevent? They just say, like, you should prevent this, Yeah. And we know, I mean, as a player, as an operator in this space, that, if something happens, if you have a black mark, like, it's death, Like, there is no second chance. It's like, we compromised 1 million people, but, we promise we won't do it again. Like, that, you don't get that opportunity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's kind of what I mean about, like, there's just an implicit understanding that, yes, in fact, there is a security component to everything we do.
So where do you see you guys going in the future with what you're doing?
Honestly, I'd like to see us be able to. This is an excellent question. I'm just searching in my head for the right words to say it. Basically, be able to effectively and efficiently provide the infrastructure, the shared infrastructure, being able to provide the medical information that people need across communities, within communities, to, if someone gets in a car accident, the emergency room can easily access their primary care physician's information about allergies they may have or previous things that they may have had happen to them. And essentially be able to provide that in a scalable and efficient and, always available type way. And like I said, of course, taking part of the security part, not just letting anyone have that information.
Right?
I
don't know if this will be secure or not, but is there an app for that coming down the road? I mean, and that sounds a little bit flippant, but could there ever be a point in time where I have a click on my phone that accesses all of my 23andMe DNA, all my quantified self in there, all my medical records, to where if I get run over by a car or whatever on my bike, that I could click that button and all my records would show up? Or
yes.
access?
And in reality, there could be the. So my particular area of focus is the infrastructure part. Is essentially making sure that data is available for whoever may want to create entree into it.
Yeah, so I've heard quite a bit about infrastructure here. It sounds like there's a mix between our velocity tribes and our strata tribes. Because a lot of it is the infrastructure, the build-up, the performance, the delivery, and then a lot of it is the data and the science behind that. I think they're kind of two areas coming together.
Yep. And personally, I think it's fascinating, and it's somewhat ironic because I was in fact an English major, so the fact that I've made it here in this, my journey of life is really interesting to me and really fascinating. I really enjoy it. I'm really always learning. So
excellent, Alan. I hope we see you in San Mateo.
All right.
All right. Take care.